All right, good morning, tribe, and welcome to the Donut Shop at the beginning of the world. I am your host, Dr. Mark Merriweather Forterbrook, coming to you live from my front porch because it's been raining, been storming, been lots of lightning and thunder. It looks like that's all past, but it was just easier to set up here than drag everything out into the wet patio. Alright, so it is Monday after a long weekend. Well, I guess technically for you all it's a long weekend, but for me it was a long weekend just due to everything I was doing. Hey Charles, good morning. Hey James, hello. How are you all doing? It was a good day up at Cato Mountain's historic site. Hey Charles R. Good morning. Got to separate the Charleses. What is plural for Charles, I wonder? Hey, Michael. Good morning. Helen's here. Helen's here early, so there's only 10 of us getting hugs, but hey, that makes it special. So, get your Helen hug. Get your Helen hug. Helen hug. Oops, see, here's a Helen hug. Oop, and just a minute. Was that my boss? Nope. Hold on. Important message. Let me just check what's going on. Oh, cool. Nice. Okay, so another podcast is up. Anyway. Hey, Tiffany. Good morning. You a little tired yet? Yeah, to get some coffee. Hey, Lenore. It's been a 2-week weekend for you? Oh, that sounds nice. Hopefully for good reasons. Sometimes, weekends go long for bad reasons. I'm hoping good reasons here. Coffee. So Saturday was a fantastic event. I said in the morning we foraged for 4 hours, and then we made the cheese and the pasta infused with the plants we had foraged. And then we stuffed the cheese and some mushrooms into a chicken breast and baked those up and boiled the pasta. And we had Alfredo sauce, but we ended up just putting some butter on the noodles. And everyone was like, this is all they need. This is fantastic. And so everyone was really excited. And one thing I was pointing out to them, okay, so now that you know how easy it is, it's a little time consuming, but it's a lot of fun. We can now, or you can now, have pasta making parties at your place. Invite some friends over, make some pasta. Because once the mead started flowing, well, everyone was actually all pretty, chill with each other at the beginning. It was like, hey, talking about mead. And then by the end, everyone was just laughing and talking and exchanging, contact information and all this sort of thing. It's like, yes, another tribe has been created. Then now go forth and make new tribes amongst the people in your area, because in the end, a lot of it is geography. I was discussing that with my daughter last night again, that most of her friends will be based on who happens to be close to you at a time in your life. There are some that you will stay in contact as you move apart and move through life, but a lot of times it's just geography. Hey, Lenore! So it's an anniversary vacation. Sweet. Diane, good morning. Today's the first day of the rest of my life, hopefully for the better. Sounds like stuff is going on in your life, Diane. Hopefully good stuff. Maybe some big changes, but like you say, maybe some changes for the good. Oh yeah, it was good. The mead was good, the pasta was good, the cheese was good, the butter was good. Butter is always good. It was just a good time. Good time. Hey, Kiri, good morning. Donna, hello. Yep, another podcast. Where can I hear it? I also look at the manufacturing company in Spring, but they don't pay much, sadly. That sucks. Okay, so I will be posting the podcast on the Foraging Texas page and the Medicine Man page, because on both of them they have links to all the podcasts I'm doing, and other things like, say, being talked about in Texas Monthly Magazine, things like that. So, yep, they will all be up there. Yep, Kimberlyn, you are absolutely right there. At least social media makes it easier to stay in contact. That's the good side. I am in probably more contact with my high school classmates now than I was back in high school. And hey, if you're out there, say hi. I've been told they lurk. Hey, Diana. Hey, Tribals. It's Monday. Man, I will tell you, the alarm went off this morning. It's like, but here we are, and that's good. All right, love the Medicine Man TikTok. Cool. It's going to be fun. Oh, man, so much on my plate. All right. Oh, well. Diana, I was trying to be caller 13 to win Chili Peppers tickets. They were coming to town soon. Oh, that would be nice. Oh, I love the Chili Peppers. They're one of the few bands around yet that, well, they started when I was in grad school. Man, they've been around for a while. Not like Rolling Stones or Willie Nelson, but for a while there. And yeah, I would love to hear them in concert because I really like their songs. Okay, Deborah, any of your supplements help the pancreas? Can you be a little more specific? In fact, send me a private message and let me know just exactly what's going on, and let's see if we can figure some stuff out, either with my supplements or some other herbs and stuff, mushrooms sort of thing. The pancreas can be a little tricky. Is it an insulin thing? Is it a diabetic thing? Is it what's going on? And from there, I can be more fine-tuned. But hopefully, Deborah, we can come up with something. And by the way, good morning. Okay, thank you, Deborah. Cleo, good morning. Change does seem to be in the air for me too. Wishing you all lots of good energy. Things are changing. Here it's humid. It's warm and it's humid. There's a slight chill, but the humidity is like rain level. Don't like it. I don't like it. I'm tired of the humidity. But hey, I have no choice in the matter. Cat like mosquito. All right. Thank you. Okay, think last night while feeding baby goats, I saw Venus, Moon, and Mars. Maybe a satellite. It moved too fast to be a star. Yeah, very likely. Oh, I wonder if the International Space Station was flying overhead too. I haven't had time to track it lately to try and make the ham radio contact. It's getting dark. Let me see. Is there a way I can... Yeah, let's do this. There. A little more lit up that way. Derek. Yes, it was. You were there? I'm trying to remember. There were so many names. I'm good with plants, terrible with people. But we had a good time at Cato Mountains. And enough that... So it's really stressful and for doing these classes. But it was so much fun and it was so well received. And people loved it so much that the normal April class... So I do 2 classes a year at Cato Mountains in April and in October. The April one is going to be another forage, cook, feast sort of thing. Oh, okay, Derek. It was the International Space Station flying overhead. Okay, cool. Yeah, I used the website. What is it? www.n2yo.com to track the space station and see. Because one of the things with that one is it tells you not only, is the space station going over... Wait, no, that one just tells you if it's going overhead. There's another one also that tells you where, if you're trying to contact it through ham radio, the window of where you might be able to reach it from as it passes over the Earth. No problem, Derek. We figured it out. But, yep. The International Space Station was moving over us invisible. Dang, I need to set the alerts on my phone again, because I would have tried, I guess, to hear it. All right. Hey, Clover, good morning. Katie, good morning, good morning. Okay, several nights ago, the space station was way south of here. I think I saw a plane flying over, blinking lights. Yeah, usually if it's blinking lights, that's a plane. And the red and green. But usually, because of orbital mechanics, if it passes over once, it usually has like 3 or 4 more passes over the area. So you have like multi-day windows to try and contact it. Yeah, Texas Monthly. Yeah, I posted it here on this Facebook page. So if you like scroll down some, you will see the link. Share the link. Leave comments under the article. It was kind of interesting. The first guy who put a comment, I'm assuming it's a guy. It had kind of a male tone to it. But his comment was basically, yeah, that's all fun and great if you're rich, because then you have the time to traipse around in the woods and collect stuff. But, for most people, it's unreasonable. And so me being me, of course, I wrote back a very long explanation of why, actually, if you incorporate it in your life, you can do very well with it. So, anyway, check it out. Leave a comment. Blow this thing up. Make Texas Monthly go, whoa, this really hit a nerve. We should hire this guy to write a monthly article. I did not write the article. It was a reporter. But yeah, it would be fun. That would be fun, writing for Texas Monthly. Nothing against you, Charmies, Texas. I still love you, and I would still be writing for you too. But I'm going to try writing. It'd be awesome writing for Texas Monthly. Also, the OBA, the Organic Horticulture Benefits Association. We're talking about writing a monthly article for them for their newsletter in exchange for promoting Medicine Man Plant Co. So, anyhow, lots going on. All right, S, good chilly morning. Not chilly here. Out checking for damage from the storm last night. Big leaf down on my biggest pecan tree. Well, save it, smoke it. All right, Helen, someone last week asked about sassafras. Were they looking to acquire a couple of trees? I think so. I know Arbor Gate in Tomball often has sassafras trees for sale. So, but if you have another link to sassafras, Helen, let us know. Let us know. Ah, Henry, thank you. Good morning. Good article, by the way. I appreciate that. If you use it, you could be rich. Yeah, I don't know. The guy just, he missed the point. All right, BJ, the Cato announcement. Sorry I missed it. I was at Bailu training at Camp Pirtle. Time we freely give up to be better leaders for our scouts, and that's a good thing there, man. Definitely a good thing. So back in April. Yep, speaking of April. Hey, April, there's food everywhere. Most definitely. You just got to know it. You got to recognize it, and away you go. Hey, Mom and Dad are here. Good morning, tribe. How are you today? Love you, Mom. Love you, Dad. So usually when I'm driving to or from these classes that are far, far away, I'll give my parents a call. And so driving back from Cato Mounds yesterday, I called. Dad was out hunting, but Mom was there, and we were talking. And as I'd approach a town, we'd talk, and then as I'd go through, like after Lovelady, lost cell phone service, and Crockett lost cell phone service. Trinity had cell phone service and then dropped it. So Mom and I had like 4 conversations yesterday on the drive back. That's all good. Hey, Nancy. Good morning. Ooh, Helen, I have a bunch of seedlings in a hedgerow in my country house. Wow. A hedgerow of sassafras. Ah, that would be awesome. I have not tried, and I haven't even looked it up. Your assignment, Helen, your assignment is to see if sassafras can be propagated by cuttings. Do some Googling, do some experimentation. Remember, do not use chlorinated water. Use like rainwater or spring water or creek water or something like that. Lenore, it actually saved us on our grocery bill to be able to forage. He missed the point completely. Yeah, and that's one of the things in my rebuttal. I pointed out, you're not going to supply all your fruits and vegetables that way. But imagine just, getting 10%. And you can do that just in a walk around, on your way to work, on your way home, things like that. Not a problem. We'll see. I kind of hope he reads it and replies back. Hey, Evie, good morning. Marcia, yep, always good to talk to Mom. There is much wisdom in moms. My mom. Maybe not every mom, but my mom. Yeah, but but he's right. It takes time. One might be obligated to turn off the TV. Yeah. Turn off the computer. Yeah. Go outside. Go for a walk. Maybe there are health benefits from that. You think? Oh well. Hey Tracy. Good morning. Gary. Friday I picked up the last squash pumpkin from the fenced-in squash patch. I found basil and a tomato plant with green tomatoes. I didn't plant basil or tomatoes there. God will provide. You put a space and he will fill it. How about that? We'll go with that. When I was back home in Minnesota, we have a big compost thing in the back. It's like 4 feet by 4 foot square type thing. And everything gets dumped in there. And as I was dumping stuff in there, let's see, there was a potato plant growing, there was a tomato plant growing, there was what looked like some basil growing, a few other things. That's what happens. Yep, Darlene, I forage in my yard, lime squirter, purslane, wild onions, and more. Most definitely. But, some people, one thing I've learned, there are a lot of people that can't imagine anything other than what their own life is and can't imagine making any changes in their life, which is pretty sad, really. But it's a very common thing. And they think their life is the only life, and obviously everyone else lives the same life as them, and they can't change, so why would anyone change? So this new idea is bullpucky. And of course, in the case of foraging, it's not a new idea. Pretty damn ancient idea, really. It's like, hey, let's find something to eat. Oh, cool. Lenore, I had a volunteer watermelon, and it has a proper watermelon growing. Nice. Watermelon. Hey, Kelly, good morning. Henry, golden milk update. My daughter is having breathing problems. The milk helped, and she liked it so much she used it as a base to make a butternut squash apple bisque. It was delicious. That sounds so good, Henry. So that's one of the things. I love pumpkin seeds, and like a squash bisque. A Panera Bread, their squash soup bisque stuff. I hadn't even thought of using the golden milk for that. That would be so awesome. Oh man. That sounds good, Henry. Let's read this again because this was so good. Golden milk update. So golden milk is a mixture of like honey and milk, dairy or coconut, turmeric, some cinnamon, maybe vanilla, a few things like that, all mixed together. It's very anti-inflammatory. And so for people that are having inflammation issues, especially like phantom pains, or I shouldn't say phantom pain, pains that they can't figure out why it's hurting. One of the things is it's probably some sort of inflammation, and so it's one of my go-to, try this first and let's see what happens sort of things. And it's working for Henry, and then they like the flavor so much, they've taken it and turned it into a butternut squash apple bisque, which sounds so good. It sounds so good. Let's see. Brett Brussard, firefighter in Lake Charles, was checking fire hydrants when he found a weed in a person's yard and started picking it. Forgot what it was, but he was foraging on the job. Yep. And, maybe on your way to work or from work, wherever you're walking. Whoop. Where are you, Scott? Okay. Scott, yes, test. Is this thing working? Yep, I can hear you, Scott. Hello, Scott. Scott Coleman. Good morning. Derek, I do believe one argument could be lack of transportation, as most non-suburban areas, there are very few, if any, wooded areas. Okay, here's a great thing. Let's continue on, and then I'm gonna point out why this is wrong. Okay, Derek says, I do believe one argument could be lack of transportation, as in most non-suburban areas, there are very few, if any, wooded areas or even green spaces, unfortunately. Due to zoning, the poor tend to live near businesses. Not arguing for him, but I can see that aspect playing a role. Okay, one of the things I teach in my classes is that when it comes to edible plants, Going off into the woods is actually one of the worst places to find the edible plants. Most of the edible plants during the classes we find right around the building, the parking lot, the sidewalks of the grounds where we're at. Because, oh, this is a long one. Okay, so think of plants. Well, we got an ecosystem here. Let's turn to an ecosystem. Okay, we got an ecosystem with multiple plants. Okay, each plant in that ecosystem, think of it as an organ. We got the kidney plant, we got the eyeball plant, we got the the heart plant, things like that. So they're all working together as a greater body. Almost think of it like a multi-plant organism. And so they're all working together and keeping that ecosystem healthy. Okay, in the woods, in the deep woods, in the woods, basically once you get in, 100 feet into the woods, the environment there is very, very, very static. It's always shaded. The wind is blocked. The humidity stays fairly constant. The big changes are the temperature over the course of the year. And even in there, it's a little more protected from drastic temperature changes. So it's a very static environment. So in that environment where there isn't a lot of change, you don't have as much plant diversity as if you go out into the border areas. So in the areas more exposed, where the sunlight is constantly changing, the wind, the temperature, the rain, all this stuff has a much more dramatic effect on the plants. The end result then is the weather conditions that are good one week for certain plants to grow is no longer good the next week, and it's better for other plants to grow. So with a more variety of weather conditions experienced by the plants in these more open, urban, suburban, deserted lot, sidewalk cracks, that sort of thing, then yes, you get more plants. Where you have more plants, you have greater plant diversity, you have more edible plants. So if there's, like an abandoned lot and certain things like that around, playground, some landscaping, crappy landscaping, any of that, especially crappy abandoned landscaping where you get all the weeds coming in, because most of those are edible. So long story short, if you're in the city, maybe if you're in a housing project like in central Chicago, probably not a lot of option there. But anywhere else, if there are plants around in an urban environment, and just side note, there have been multiple tests. Why did that turn red up there? Oh, my neighbor. The contamination in urban plants is minimal. In fact, it's less than in a lot of the agriculturally farmed plants. So some really cool studies on that. So I disagree with you, Derek, that the plants, you have to go off somewhere and you have to drive somewhere. No, if you start looking around downtown Houston, there are plants all over the place. And also, the people the poor in the city, they may have the limitations, but there's poor outside the city too. Don't forget that. A lot of small towns have poor people. A lot of medium-sized towns have poor people. Around here, around our neighborhood, we are surrounded by the whatever, I don't know if it's called Section 8 anymore, but the low-income housing. And then there's all sorts of parks and stuff around here too. So I for a small part of the poor, yes, they are really limited, but for a larger part, if they start looking around, they can find stuff. Okay, so now I'm probably going to have all sorts of activists and stuff after me, but so be it. Okay. Ooh, Tracy, we have a volunteer tomato plant, the Burning Pit. Nice large tomatoes, not your usual hothouse tomatoes. I'm a little worried, Tracy, about outhouse tomatoes, just saying. Oh, and one last thing, Derek. Also, guerrilla gardening and, spreading seeds and all that is another thing, too. So. Okay, need suggestions on how to heat leftovers in the back of the truck on a burner. Steam them. Double boiler might be a good way. Wrap them in aluminum foil. put them in so you got a pot with a little stand in it. You put some water in the pot. You put the aluminum foil wrapped stuff, or in a baggie, something just to keep it actually from getting soaked by the steam, and reheat it with steam. Does that make sense? You got like a pot, a tray in the pot. So you got a pot. You got some water in the pot. You got a little tray. On the tray sits your food wrapped in aluminum foil or in a baggie. You heat it up. The water, you get up to 225 degrees. 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and steam heat the food that way. Because that way it's not going to scorch on the bottom. Or just stick it, wrapped in aluminum foil and stick it in your engine compartment as you drive. Okay, James, on the note of trying to find sassafras trees, does anyone know where I can get cayenne pepper? I need about 20 pounds. Oh, damn. I have maybe a pound that I've been growing, but I don't have 20 pounds. Yes, Katie, anyone here try squash blossom soup? So good. Yes, 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 it is. Okay, Nancy, what is the recipe for the milk again, and can I find it online? Yes. So just Google golden milk recipe. You'll get dozens, and the key ingredients are the turmeric, like a honey, and some black pepper, and then other flavorful herbs, and just kind of read through the different recipes and see which one you like. Also, instead of dairy milk, you can use coconut milk to make that. Yes, Derek, there is black pepper in the golden milk because people have figured out by now that you need the black pepper to truly activate the turmeric. Ooh, Melissa, good morning, tribe. Looking forward to foraging on family 400 acres near Lake Livingston most of this week. Sweet. April, changed my diet, really helped my aches and pains, fell off the diet and everything hurt again. I understand. It's hard. I was doing so good, and then the trip up to Minnesota kind of ruined me in a wonderful way. Gotta love the donuts. I have such a sweet tooth. But anyway, okay. All right, Scott. Computer issues on your end. All right. Hey, Tim. Good morning. All right, Nancy. I'm currently barefoot walking. Good, good, good. So we'll look it up later if that's where to find a good recipe. Yeah, there's just lots of them online. Darlene, just learned that cabbage is inflammatory or anti-inflammatory. Anti-inflammatory. Okay, that's what I was saying. It's like it's not inflammatory. And then if you sauerkraut it, like we'll be learning tomorrow night at Houston Botanic Gardens, how to make fermented greens, you get even more benefits. Hey, Bernice. Good morning. Kelly, I was waiting in line in my car recently by a tree line of hackberry trees. The line was moving slowly. And guess who jumps out of the car and picks a handful of hackberries to munch on? I got a side eye from one of the bank tellers. Oh, that's funny. That is hysterical. I love that, Kelly. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Lenore, you will find different options, but even if it's in another language, you should be able to use the CC button to do closed captioning. Okay, so we're talking YouTube videos on golden milk here. All right. But yeah, good stuff. Yep, many of the plants grow in the cracks in the pavement, in the weeds amongst the flower beds in front of buildings, in the abandoned lots, all that sort of thing. Derek, that makes complete sense, especially when you incorporate that the trees are familiar and will choke out other plants even by trees feeding each other with mycelium. Yep. Okay, my only argument about picking near buildings, etc., is potential to be exposed to Roundup used by most commercial property. Your argument is totally on point and understand. Thank you. And on your side, I mean, that's the first thing to a lot of people. There are no plants in the city, and there's a tale. I can't remember who it was, but this, we'll say Les Stroud. It wasn't Les Stroud, but we'll say it was Les Stroud. Les Stroud was walking down New York City with like a producer or something, And suddenly he stopped and he said, "Wait, you hear the cricket?" And the producer was like, "What cricket? What are you talking about? I don't hear any cricket." And I said, "No, listen." And they're standing on the sidewalk listening. And then the producer, "Oh, wait, yeah, there is a cricket." And so, and all the hustle bustle and noise of New York City and all the horn honking and all that going on, Les was tuned in to the nature sounds and picked them up when everyone else didn't hear it until they really stopped and forced themselves to listen to it. In the case of crickets are decent food, so that's probably why he was, focused on it. But it's one of those things, until you stop and look at things, there's a lot more around than your eyes are picking up, I guess, or your ears, or your nose, or anything like that. Now, the Roundup, is a concern, though a lot of companies have been shamed away from using it, which is good. Also, economically, it's often cheaper just to have someone go through once a week and pluck, pluck, pluck. But imagine now if the businesses knew they were feeding people from their landscaping. And so let's stop doing the Roundup. In my rebuttal, I talked about, imagine if everyone planted edible landscaping and shared and life was good. But maybe someday. I can dream. Yep, Kelly, yep. When I was in your foraging class, we didn't have to go far to find lots of edibles. So the other part of that is, the humans and proto-humans, going back 2.5 million years, have been eating these plants and, kind of turning up. Long story short, I don't want to go through the whole thing, but there was kind of a co-evolutionary pressure that the plants that we liked, even though we weren't doing agriculture and specifically farming them, they did start realizing that the plants kind of started hanging out around us. We started hanging around the plants, and the plants, I believe, evolved to really like what humans were doing to the soil, the burning, the churning, all that sort of thing. And so like I said, even though we weren't growing them agriculturally, there was enough evolutionary pressure on the plants to cause them to evolve to start hanging out nearby us. Because, like I said, we have a tendency to chop down trees, open up areas, make borders, churn the landscape, which then left alone leads to actually a greater plant diversity. All right, Donna, there are some foragers that forage specifically in the cities. I've seen them online, and there's some that will forage in the cities to sell to fancy restaurants and so forth. Like in Houston has some of the best green areas and the most green areas of any major city, not just in the nation, but in the world. The number of parks and stuff in Houston is absolutely amazing. Now, yes, right now it's illegal to harvest from parks, but maybe things will change if we talk about it. Wouldn't that classify as second harvest? Are we talking the outhouse tomatoes there, Henry? Oh, most definitely. Hey, Kimberly. Happy Monday, all. I have about 5 minutes I can sneak in. Miss you all. We missed you. Marcia, that's great knowledge about city versus woods. Yeah. So, like I said, most of my classes will stay on the borders for a while, for like 2/3 of the class. And then we'll walk into the woods. And there are a few things in the woods, but not nearly as many as out there. And that's something to point out. Now, most of you think that, you have to run off into the woods to survive on plants. And now that you've seen, we've been walking for a while, and I haven't pointed out any plants because there aren't any plants to eat around here. Keep that in mind. You don't want to run off into the woods. What you want to do, if you decide you're sick of humanity and just want to go away, you find yourself a bridge over some river out, kind of outside of town if you want, or inside of town, and live under that bridge, because there you got the water, you got the, everything around you, you got borders, all that sort of thing. There's going to be much greater plant diversity there than in the deep woods. Scott. Outhouse tomatoes. Neighbor accidentally dug into 100-year-old septic line. Heirloom tomatoes instantly began growing from the broken line. Now that That would be pretty awesome. In a way. Anyway, but thinking about it. Hey, Dina, good morning. Wait till you're roadside foraging and people ask if you're okay while you're looking on the ground for plants. Saying it depends on, you ask might not, depending on who you ask, you might not get a good response. What's this? Gary, I might get a visit at the end of the week from Hurricane Pamela. Tropical storm at the moment, Pacific storm. Oh, I need to check that. Mexico in danger. Oh, yeah? Katie, okay, sorry you caught the cold, but caught a head cold after coming back from vacation, but started taking elderberry, and it totally shortened the length of my cold. Still a little stuffy, but I'm already feeling better. Yeah, they've shown it shortened. The elderberry shortens the colds by about 40%. You know what has elderberry? Hey, it's time for the group take! Yay! The immune pill. Focus. Vitamin C, elderberry, cordyceps, mushroom, self-heal, echinacea. Not just preventative. Immune system activate. And of course, the brain pill, my personal favorite. Childhood memories. It's hard to beat the smell of a good pizza parlor. And growing up, that was Dino's Pizza. We loved going to Dino's Pizza. The liver pill. Yep, come on. I will say the mead was a big hit. Homemade mead. At the Cato Mounds class. The uric acid pill, again, I don't have problems with building up of uric acid in my joints causing pain, so I don't need the pain relief of the uric acid pill. Blood pressure pill, someday it will be back. I'm running low here, myself. The Serenity pill, I have too much fun being hyperactive and mood swingy. The libido pill, it's been a good week. Come to me. Oh, it tastes really good too. And the Stonebreaker. It's for keeping things flowing. All right. Okay. You see, you sense what you're aware of. Not just see, hear and smell and all that. A prime example, when you buy a new car or you buy a car and suddenly you see that same car everywhere because now you are alert to that specific model of car and start seeing it everywhere. All right, time to cut hay here at the ranch this week. Loads of soapberry seedlings along the fence line. I need one of those from you. I need to figure out how to get by there. What time is it? Okay. Tracy, I have a treasure of octogenarians and non-agrarians who have a plethora of outhouse stories, including the volunteer garden. My dad tells us when he was 6 or 7, the church built a new 2-seater. They used his bottom to measure the kids' hole. All right. Hey, better than guessing and guessing wrong, especially with an outhouse. You don't want the hole too big. Confession time. I'm 40 years old and I've never been to a concert. I was hoping for Red Hot Chili Pepper tickets because they're my favorite and I wanted them to be my first. They would be a good first. They have really great music. Oh, Kiri, yes, I saw a flock of wild turkeys in a friend's yard in town. Oh, don't tell my dad. He's going to show up and hunt them. James, I tried local ones. They require a corporate account and all that. Not willing to sell one guy 20 pounds now and then. What about farmers markets? Just go through a farmers market and take all the chili peppers. Okay, discovered a persimmon tree at the gun range yesterday. It's on an Oklahoma State Park. We'll have to look up foraging guidelines, but I assume I can pick them off the ground directly after they've fallen. Talk to the park rangers. And a lot of times, like the persimmons, they're okay with you picking them. But definitely want to talk to them. Now, unfortunately, even if you look at a place like Lowe's and Home Depot that installed artificial turf, that's something. Yeah, you're absolutely. It drives me up a wall. This artificial turf craze. Not sure if you know but Roundup will not be available for non-commercial use anymore. Interesting. Very interesting. We need people, spending time outside picking the weeds. Cleo, I agree. I think that refocusing, when I start looking for a certain plant and find it once, I start seeing it easier. Like my brain says, oh, you want me to acknowledge that when my eyes take it in? Okay, exactly. You train your, so one of my favorite places to keep foraging books is in the bathroom. And while you're sitting there, escaping the family, you're looking at the plants and telling your brain, okay, this plant is a plant I want to see out in the wild, rather than dragging the books out in the wild and looking at plants and looking at the book and so forth. You got to prep your brain ahead of time to be looking for these plants. Okay, Azure Standard is a co-op company, delivers around the country, sells many things by the pound. They have 220 pounds in stock at the moment. Of cayenne pepper, great resource for bulk, organic, non-GMO, hard-to-find products. And Jennifer also says, James, maybe try Azure. It's a co-op that sells bulk groceries. Sweet, I need to check that out. Oops, people are texting me. 7:15. There it is. Gonna have to wait. All right, Dina, enjoyed camping out this weekend. Found lots of beautyberry, yopound, and some mushrooms along with a tall tree that had red berries that looked like coffee beans. Okay, red berries in a tree. Were they in like a dried brown pod? Because it sounds like it was probably a coral berry tree, and those berries are extremely poisonous. Extremely poisonous. Inherited a yard guy with the new place. He lopped on all the turks kept this weekend. I need to do a class for landscapers and yard guys. I really do. I wonder how I could do that. I don't have time to do that. Okay, Nancy, how do you know if you have too much uric acid? So uric acid is what causes gout, G-O-U-T. And it's a buildup of the uric acid crystals in your extremities, in your joints. And so if you have a lot of toe pain and joint pain, there's a good chance that you may have gout, to the point where you can barely walk. But if you've been diagnosed with gout, it is too much uric acid. And so the uric acid pill, it's designed to, from the FDA limitations on what I can say, it helps remove the pain of gout. Okay. Yep. Derek, high uric acid lowers your endogenous nitric oxide. Yep. This causes elevated blood pressure. Yep. Also arthritic pain and gout, I believe. Yep. All true. Okay, it is 8:01. I need to get going. Lots going on today. It is not a day of rest for me. Thank God for caffeine. Okay, so, Mom, Dad, love you. Tribe, love you. Thank you for sharing your strength and energy with me every day. I really need this. And I will see. And don't forget. So, the private group, the Merriweather's Cantina, or Mary Cantina, if you go up to the top here, there's the support Merriweather, I guess it is, button on the Facebook page for $2.49 a month, $2.49 a month. You help me do all that I do, and it lets you into the Cantina, which is a private group where you can talk and share and laugh and joke and trade recipes and all that sort of thing. And on Monday nights, I have another live broadcast from a bar. I think tonight it will be the Walking Stick, which is over in the Heights just north of 610. The Walking Stick bar. I need to double check to see that they have Wi-Fi. I think they do. If they don't, I will find another bar around that area that has Wi-Fi and be broadcasting from there. But anyway, at this point, we got the week ahead of us. Let's do good. Let's just do good. Let's just do good. All right, end broadcast.